Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my channel Internal Audit Lab by Nosheen. Today I will discuss one of the important topic from Domain 5 of CIA Part 1, and this Domain 5 is about governance, risk management and control. So from this Domain 5 I will discuss governance today. Because governance is a huge topic, so there will be a multiple series of video on governance. So today basically I will cover the concept of organizational governance, which will be tested in the exam in basic aspect. So let's begin the video. So governance is the combination of processes and structures implemented by the board to inform, direct, manage, and monitor the activities of the organization toward the achievement of its objectives. So many governance issues arise because of the separation of ownership and management in business corporations, which is called the agency problem or the principal agent conflict. So this conflict of interest increases the need for a good organizational governance practices to enhance the managerial accountability and protect the interest of the shareholders and other stakeholders. So this could be accomplished by, among other organizational governance elements, the supervision and monitoring performed by the board of directors over the corporate and the performance of its senior management. So that's why the board of directors plays the major role in the organizational governance. So there are some principles in governance. There are many important framework and models developed as regulations or guidance on organizational governance principle. So the most influential models are the principle of corporate governance, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, the King-Ford Report, and so on. The following is the summary of the common governance factor principle extracted from those codes. Firstly, stakeholder interest and involvement. So organizations must take into account the interest of all stakeholders. In addition to the shareholders, organization must recognize the interest of other non-shareholders, stakeholders who include a wide range of people and group affected by their operations such as employees, investors, creditors, suppliers, regulators, and so on. So stakeholders also should be involved in governing and controlling the organization. Secondly, the stewardship by the board. Effective governance requires an independent and objective board of directors with sufficient expertise and authority to oversee the organization and its management. Thirdly, laws and regulations. Laws and regulations contribute to the governance by enforcing certain requirements and prohibiting certain actions. Sound and well-developed laws and regulations protect people who have invested in the organization or who are affected by its operations. For example, it includes maximum work hours, minimum wages, anti-discrimination, consumer protection, etc. Number 4, integrity and ethical behavior. Ethical behavior requires organization to act in ways consistent with what society and stakeholders typically consider to be fair and honest. So the board should support the establishment of an ethical culture and standards in the organization and monitor the conformance with these standards. Number 5, objective of the organization. The organization objective also contribute to its governance and are used to measure organizational and individual performance. So clearly defined objective help organization in shaping its mission, vision, and strategies in a manner that enables a balanced range of performance measure. Number 6, transparent disclosure. Good governance requires timely and accurate disclosure of all material information concerning the organization, including its financial position and result, which facilitate transparency. Number 7, accountability. The organization should be structured in a way that clearly identifies the lines of responsibility and accountability. The chain of accountability starts with the individual employees and goes through each level of command up to the board of directors. Number 7, risk management. So a clearly defined risk management policy and processes should be implemented and embedded into the organization system and process. The board should monitor the adequacy and effectiveness of risk management policy and processes throughout the organization. Number 9, internal control. A strong system of internal control should exist in the organization to address all risks that have been identified, and this system should be monitored by the senior management and the board. Number 10, internal audit. The existence of internal audit function in the organization contribute to the good governance because properly positioned internal audit function with sufficient skill, independence, and expertise can assess and provide assurance about risk management, control, and governance process in the organization, as well as provide recommendations to enhance these processes. Number 11, external audit. So external audit provides an independent and competent review of the financial reports before they are published. So this way they also enhance the governance. Number 12, audit committee. The audit committee should be comprised of only non-executive director in order to enhance its independence in providing an oversight of the internal control and governance process. Number 13, compensation policies. The compensation policy in the organization should encourage appropriate behavior consistent with the objectives and values of the organization, especially for directors and senior management. And lastly, effective interaction among the uh, board, management, and other parties involved in the organizational governance is a key factor for good governance. So as I was talking about the effective interaction among the stakeholder in the last slide, so this interaction among various stakeholders of an organization plays a significant role in the governance. The three primary interacting groups are shareholder, board of director, and management. Firstly, the shareholders. So these shareholders are the true owners of the corporation, and these shareholders are also entitled to certain rights, like right to elect directors for the board, right to elect and remove members of the board, right to obtain information on a regular basis, right to receive dividends, right to purchase additional shares or sell their existing shares, right to remaining asset upon liquidation after paying all other parties, and right to vote on significant changes to the organization. The board of directors. So board of director consists of the member elected by the shareholders. Members of the board do not have any authority to act individually. Rather, the board collectively has the decision-making authority. So board usually has the following duties like appointment and removal of management officers, setting management compensation, supervision and oversight of the organization and its officers, appointment of the CA and the external auditors, making strategic decisions, including decisions for merger and acquisition, initial adoption and changes to bylaw, fundamental changes to the organization structure, declaring dividends, uh, and also some fiduciary duties. Lastly, the senior management. So senior management includes the chief executive officer, chief operating officer, chief financial officer who manage the overall operations, take major decisions, and introduce major changes. So they also have uh, the following duties like directors, senior managers have fiduciary duties toward the organization. They also have the rights of indemnification. They also have the rights to receive compensation. Senior manager may also be shareholder and a director. However, for strong organizational governance, it is preferred that the majority of the board be independent. Organizational governance practice or mechanism, it can be either internal or external. So internal governance mechanism are exercised by the internal parties and they include stewardship and monitoring by the board, policy, procedure and bylaws, assurance functions such as internal audit, risk management, internal control processes, balance of power in the organizational structure, performance measurement and remuneration. An external governance mechanism are exercised by the external parties and it includes governmental laws and regulations, requirement of influential external parties such as labor union, contractual covenants, external auditors, media pressure, and so on. Standard 2110 specifically identifies the internal audit activities responsibility for assessing and making appropriate recommendations to improve the organizational governance process for firstly making strategic operational decisions, To evaluate an organization governance processes for making strategic and operational decisions, the internal audit activity may review the past audit report as well as board meeting minutes, the board policy manual, or related governance documents, which can help provide an understanding of how such decisions are discussed and ultimately made. Secondly, overseeing risk management and control. The internal audit activity typically reviews the process for conducting the annual risk assessment. The internal audit activity may also review minutes from the meeting where the risk management strategy was discussed as well as previously conducted the risk assessment. Number three, promoting appropriate ethics and values within the organization. So, to assess how an organization promotes ethics and values both internally among its external business partner, the internal audit activity may review the organization related objectives, programs, and activities. Number four, ensuring effective organizational performance management and accountability. So, to evaluate how an organization ensures effective performance management and accountability, the internal audit activity could review the organization policy and processes related to staff compensation, objective setting, and performance evaluation. Number five, communicating risk and control information to appropriate areas of the organization. The internal audit activity could assess the internal reports, newsletter, relevant memos, email, staff meeting minutes to determine whether information regarding risk and control is complete, accurate, and distributed timely. And number six, coordinating the activities and communicating information. So, to assess an organization's ability to coordinate activities and communicate information among the board, external and internal auditors, other assurance provider, and management, the internal audit activity could identify the meetings that include these groups and determine how frequently they should occur. Now, some important points to understand. So it is the internal audit activities' ultimate responsibility to evaluate and improve governance. So since internal auditors hold a unique position in the organization, so it enables them to observe and formally assess governance process while remaining independent. The internal auditor also should understand the relationship among governance, risk management, and control to facilitate a good governance practice. The internal auditor may facilitate board self-assessment of governance, and the audit plan made by the internal auditor, it should be based on the risk assessment which consider governance processes and related controls. So that's from today's video. Hopefully you like this video. Thanks for watching.